I was staring at the telemetry screen, frozen, as the numbers blinked one last time before vanishing. Decades of humanity's eyes in deep space gone. The probe that had been whispering secrets from the edge of our solar system just stopped communicating. And what it left behind is terrifying. I still remember the first time I saw Voyager 2's trajectory on the screen. A tiny speck against the infinite black, sailing faster than anything we had ever sent into the void. Launched back in 1977, when bell-bottoms were in fashion and the world was obsessed with disco, no one could have imagined this spacecraft would outlast generations, quietly documenting the outer planets and now, the unexplored darkness beyond Neptune. I imagine it out there, drifting in silence, farther than any human has ever ventured. The hum of its instruments, the faint pulse of its radio, carrying whispers of Jupiter's swirling storms, Saturn's golden rings, and the icy secrets of Uranus and Neptune. For decades, Voyager 2 was our cosmic messenger, bridging the distance between Earth and the unknown, sending back fragments of light that painted a picture of our solar system no telescope could capture. And then, the transmissions began to falter. It wasn't sudden. The data trickled in slower, as if the universe itself were gently telling us to pay attention. Engineers at NASA monitored every blip, every faint signal, calculating distances measured in billions of kilometers. Light for Voyager 2 takes nearly 21 hours to reach Earth now. Every time we listened, it was as if the probe was calling across the void, and we were straining to hear its voice. I remember reading the final status report. It was like reading a diary written in code, a list of temperatures, battery voltages, cosmic ray counts. Every number told a story of survival in a hostile, unforgiving environment. The temperatures in the outer solar system plummet to near absolute zero. Radiation belts circle the planets with lethal energy, and yet Voyager 2 endured. It had witnessed storms on Jupiter that could swallow Earth whole, rings of Saturn shimmering like celestial jewels, and the faint, icy glimmers of distant Kuiper Belt objects. But what broke me was realizing that the silence now wasn't just an absence of data. It was a monumental pause in humanity's conversation with the cosmos. For almost 50 years, Voyager 2 had been our farthest-reaching ambassador, and suddenly, the line went dead. Engineers scrambled, antennas adjusted, commands repeated. Every NASA team around the globe held their breath. Could this be the final heartbeat? And then I thought about the people who had worked on Voyager 2 since the 70s. The scientists who'd aged decades as their little golden disk of Earth sailed into the void. Some had passed away without knowing whether their creation would survive this long. Others had spent lifetimes interpreting its data, decoding its faint signals, finding beauty in the numbers, the frequencies, the subtle electromagnetic whispers from billions of kilometers away. The vastness of space suddenly felt personal. I could picture the probe, tiny and vulnerable, gliding past the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's influence wanes and interstellar space begins. It had entered a region no human-made object had ever fully explored, carrying with it golden records of music, greetings, and images, a message to the unknown, a testament to humanity. And now silence. Yet, in that silence, there is something almost poetic. Voyager 2 had become more than a machine. It was our dream, our ambition, our yearning for the stars. The last transmission didn't just stop. It echoed the fragility of life, the fleetingness of even our most enduring creations, and the vastness that surrounds us. I felt a strange connection, knowing that out there, floating through endless night, a tiny artifact of human curiosity continued to drift, even if we couldn't hear it anymore. And then the thought hit me. What did it see just before it went silent? What strange particles, what distant cosmic rays, what icy fragments of a solar system we'll never fully explore did it record? There are mysteries Voyager 2 witnessed that we might never know, secrets hidden in the final readings, data that might reveal something extraordinary about the edge of our solar system, or even about the galaxy beyond. As the sun set behind the NASA facility, I couldn't shake the feeling of both awe and terror. Awe for what humans can create, and terror for how little control we have when facing the infinite. Voyager 2 had been a bridge to the unknown, and now the bridge had gone dark. The world may not yet understand the gravity of this moment, but for those of us who have watched it for decades, it is the end of an era. And yet, in true cinematic fashion, it feels like the story is just beginning because the universe never truly stops whispering. And somewhere, out there, Voyager 2 drifts, silently witnessing the cosmos, its final transmission a reminder of the vastness we are only beginning to comprehend. When Voyager 2 went silent, the world didn't feel it immediately. To most, it was just another headline, a distant curiosity about a probe millions of miles away. But for those of us who had been following its journey, who had tracked its every signal as if reading the heartbeat of an old friend, it was like losing a lifeline to the stars. I remember sitting alone in a dimly lit control room at NASA, the screens reflecting my own anxious expression. Every flicker, every unreadable data packet felt like a message from the universe itself. And now there was nothing. I closed my eyes and imagined the spacecraft drifting through the black ocean beyond Neptune, past the faint glow of distant dwarf planets, past icy comets tracing ghostly arcs through the void. It had left the heliosphere, the protective bubble of our sun, and was now in interstellar space. Here, the environment is merciless. Cosmic rays bombard every surface, temperatures plunge toward absolute zero, and light from our sun is just a dim glimmer. Yet, somehow, Voyager 2 survived for decades in this frozen, radiation-soaked wilderness. The scientists tried everything. Every antenna in the Deep Space Network was pointed, every calculation double-checked. Commands were sent, signals bounced back, or didn't. The silence stretched on like an impossible infinity. And in that silence, my mind wandered to the people who had built this miracle. Engineers in orange jumpsuits and lab coats, hunched over consoles in the 1970s, pouring their dreams into circuits and gyroscopes, knowing that decades later, their creation would still be alive, almost like a legacy of human ambition floating in the void. Then there's the golden record, the record that Voyager 2 carried as a message to any civilization that might encounter it. Music from Bach and Chuck Berry, greetings in dozens of languages, images of Earth's landscapes and creatures. I tried to imagine an alien civilization discovering it. Would they understand the beauty of sunset? Would they feel the joy in a child's laughter or the solemnity of human history? Voyager 2 was more than a spacecraft. It was a time capsule, a storyteller, and now, in the silence, a relic drifting toward eternity. I began to think about the signals it had sent during its last days. The last cosmic ray readings, the last magnetic field measurements, the last whispers of the solar wind. Somewhere in those final transmissions might be clues we didn't fully understand, something the probe had witnessed that no human had ever seen before. And yet, the data stopped. We are left only with speculation, imagination, and the haunting thought that Voyager may 2nd have glimpsed something profound, something that humanity is not ready to comprehend. For decades, I had watched NASA's mission updates, the small victories and heartbreaking setbacks. I remembered the flyby of Uranus, the icy, blue planet spinning in silence, its faint rings barely visible. The flyby of Neptune, capturing images of storms larger than Earth, winds faster than any hurricane we've ever felt. Voyager 2 transformed distant planets into intimate neighbors. And now, it was gone, leaving us staring at a void that suddenly felt larger, colder, and more lonely than ever. I walked outside that night, looking up at the sky. It was clear, stars sparkling like scattered diamonds across velvet blackness. Somewhere, far beyond those stars, Voyager 2 drifted, unseen, unheard, but still out there, carrying the hopes and dreams of everyone who had ever looked up and wondered. The thought was humbling. We are so small, yet capable of reaching unimaginable distances. And yet, this tiny probe, our boldest messenger, now exists in a silence that makes our planet feel almost fragile. I thought about the future. Voyager 2 will continue its lonely journey for thousands of years, even after humanity itself may be gone. It will glide past interstellar clouds, past rogue planets, past mysteries we cannot yet see. Its story is a reminder that exploration is not just about conquest or knowledge, but about curiosity, resilience, and the courage to reach into the unknown, even when the outcome is uncertain. And still, a part of me couldn't shake a deeper fear, the unknown that Voyager 2 had now entered. Interstellar space is not empty. It's a turbulent, chaotic place. Magnetic fields twist unpredictably. Cosmic radiation is relentless, and dark matter and unseen phenomena lurk in the void. What if Voyager 2 had detected something unexplainable, something that made it stop, something we might never understand? My mind raced with possibilities, blending awe with a creeping unease. As I sat back, staring at the black sky, I realized that Voyager 2's silence was both an ending and a beginning. It marked the close of humanity's first half-century of interstellar exploration, yet it also opened a new chapter, a reminder that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of secrets just beyond our grasp. The probe may have stopped sending signals, but its journey and the story it tells will resonate forever. The more I thought about Voyager 2's silence, the more it felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, staring into an endless abyss. We had grown used to hearing its faint beeps, a lifeline across billions of kilometers, and suddenly, the bridge between humanity and the cosmos was gone. I kept picturing the probe, drifting through interstellar space, spinning slowly, its antennas still pointed toward Earth, as if refusing to give up its mission even as its power dwindled. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the planets it had visited, the swirling clouds of Jupiter, the hexagonal storm on Saturn's North Pole, the distant blue-green glow of Neptune. Each image, each measurement, had expanded our understanding of the solar system. Voyager 2 had been our first true ambassador to the outer planets, capturing details that telescopes could never reach. And now, we were left with echoes of its discoveries, fragments of a story that might never be completed. I remember the engineers' faces during the last days of contact. Lines of worry etched across their foreheads, hands trembling over consoles, voices barely above whispers. They had spent years decoding Voyager 2's signals, sometimes celebrating tiny victories when the data came through, sometimes holding their breath as long stretches of silence tested their patience and faith. For them, this wasn't just a mission. It was a decades-long dialogue with the universe itself, and now the conversation had ended. What made it all so haunting was knowing that Voyager 2 had entered a realm that no human could ever reach. Beyond the heliosphere, the sun's influence fades, leaving the probe in a vast sea of cosmic radiation and magnetic turbulence. Here, the rules of space are different, almost alien. The spacecraft carries instruments designed to measure this unknown environment, yet even they can only record so much before being battered by the extreme conditions. Its silence could be mechanical, but part of me feared it was something more, a subtle warning from the universe that some frontiers are not meant to be fully understood. And then I thought about the golden record again. That simple, beautiful disk, spinning silently in the void, containing the sounds and images of Earth. A greeting to the unknown, a testament to life and intelligence on our planet. Voyager 2 had become not just a scientific instrument, but a storyteller, a time capsule, and now, perhaps, a relic that future civilizations, or distant intelligences, might discover long after humanity has faded. The thought was both comforting and terrifying. Comforting because our existence, our creativity, our dreams had left a mark. Terrifying because we may never know who or what might hear it. The silence forced me to confront something deeper, the fragility of our place in the cosmos. Voyager 2 had survived so much, yet in the end, Even it could not escape the inevitable march of time and entropy. I thought about humanity's ambitions, our rockets and probes, our plans to explore Mars, the outer planets, even interstellar space. Voyager 2 had been the first step, a small, fragile piece of metal and circuitry reaching farther than any human could. Its final transmission reminded me that exploration is never guaranteed to succeed, and yet, it is always worth the attempt. I found myself reflecting on the lessons Voyager 2 had taught us. Curiosity is powerful, but so is patience. Persistence is essential, even when the outcome is uncertain. And most of all, the universe is larger, stranger, and more beautiful than we can fully imagine. Each planet, each cosmic ray, each measurement the probe sent back was a story in itself. A story of resilience, discovery, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. Yet, despite the wonder, there was an undeniable sadness. We will never hear Voyager 2 again. No more beeps, no more data packets, no more whispers of distant worlds. It is a silence that stretches across billions of kilometers, across decades of human effort, across the fragile thread of connection we had maintained with this tiny messenger in the dark. And still, in the quiet, I feel hope. Voyager May 2nd have stopped transmitting, but its journey continues. It drifts through the void, carrying humanity's voice into the unknown, bearing witness to a universe that is immense, beautiful, and mercilessly mysterious. Its story is not just about the end of a mission. It is about the enduring courage of human curiosity, the drive to explore, and the knowledge that even in silence, the universe continues to speak, if only we are willing to listen.